There's been some huge news over the last few days when it comes to the Steam Deck, including the actual official launch date for the Steam Deck. Let's talk about this. Now, if you can't tell, I'm really excited, so I'm not going to bury the lead here. This is the first story we're going to talk about. According to a blog post, the Steam Deck will officially launch on February 25th, 2020. Quote, "Hello. The day is almost here. On February 25th, we will be sending out the first batch of order emails to reservation holders. Customers will have 3 days, 72 hours, from the receipt of their order email to make their purchase before their reservation is released to the next person in the queue. The first units will be on their way to customers starting the 28th, and we plan to release new order email batches on a weekly cadence. In addition, we're sending out press units for full review shortly. Press review embargoes on Steam Deck coverage will lift on February 25th, but keep an eye out for some preview coverage and impressions before that. In the meantime, we're working to tie up the last few loose ends and polish some rough edges, and are excited to get these out to you at the end of next month. Additional details for the curious. We will start sending invites shortly after 10 a.m. on February 25th PST. Order emails are sent in the same order that reservations are made. You can only order the Steam Deck model that you originally reserved, and your reservation deposit will be applied to the final price of the Steam Deck, and shipping costs are included. The first group of Steam Deck pre-orders will be sent out to the email account associated with the Steam account used to place the deposit. These emails will be sent out at 10 a.m. PST on February 25th. You have 3 days to answer your email before your reservation moves on to the next person in the queue. This is so incredibly exciting, and I can't wait to get my hands on mine. However, like many of the folks that I've seen, my reservation says after Q2 2022. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait. Although I would not be opposed to getting a press kit from Valve. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, Valve. Send me a frickin' press kit. In the meantime, we have a lot more news to cover today. So before we get into that though, if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure that you hit the like button. If we can get to 5,000 likes on this video, I'll do a deep dive into the Steam Deck and the software that we can expect to see on it. Okay, next up, Valve is working on a driver enhancement for the Steam Deck to bring Radeon Dynamic VRS to the Steam Deck. Now, what is Dynamic VRS? Well, VRS stands for Variable Rate Shaders, which should allow for improved power savings on the console. Essentially, Vulkan has an extension called VK-KHR Fragment Shading Rate, which allows the shaders to operate at different rates based on screen region. Now, Vulkan already has the ability to do this. However, Valve's proposed patch to this graphics stack would allow VRS to be dynamically applied based on if the deck is using AC or battery power. Now, this is different from the current implementation of the VRS stack, as it currently doesn't support dynamically switching modes. This is super exciting to see that Valve is working on this and looking to optimize the Steam Deck software for the best possible battery life. It's also interesting to note that this will benefit all RDNA 2 based GPUs on Linux and not just the Steam Deck. Now, I want to talk about a few games that have become Steam Deck verified, or at least are seeking Steam Deck verified status. The first is Limbo. Now, Reddit user YouFindLand has noticed that Limbo has recently become Steam Deck verified. Limbo is one of my absolute favorite indie games. It is probably no surprise to longtime viewers of this channel that I'm a sucker for platformers, and Limbo is really one of the best platformers of its decade. The art, how the game feels, and its perfect atmosphere, it really draws the player into this dark and interesting and fascinating and very hostile world. So that's why I'm excited to see that it has become Steam Deck verified. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of games receive the verified status, especially the ones that originally got Linux support due to Humble Indie bundles. And I'm not talking about like the Humble games that came out after the fact. I'm talking about the original Humble Indie bundle. I made a video about that. You can check it out here. Another title to get Steam Deck verified is Life is Strange 2. Now, developer Don't Nod created this sequel to what I think was a truly weird game, Life is Strange. I thought it was incredibly strange, and I made a review of Life is Strange quite a while ago. It's an old video, but you can check that out up here. Now, Life is Strange 2 is listed as verified, which is pretty cool. Another title that is looking for Steam Deck verified status is Superhot. Now, its full title is Superhot Mind Control Delete. Had a patch pushed yesterday as of the filming of this video, which lists Steam Deck compatibility as its #1 update. Now, this doesn't mean that it actually has received verified status yet, though, as it can take a while after a game build is submitted to the verification process to actually get reviewed by Valve's moderation team. But it is great to see that there are developers out there who are actively pushing updates to their games to get them supported on the Steam Deck. Now, another interesting thing that happened in the world of the Steam Deck is that the Half-Life 2 games, that's Half-Life 2, Episode 1 and 2, as well as a few of the other miscellaneous ones, have just received a beta branch. Now, according to Twitter user Gabe Follower, the Half-Life 2 games have received a major UI upgrade that should support the Steam Deck's controller inputs. It's actually quite interesting to see this because this doesn't just add UI updates, but it also fixes a few long-standing bugs within the Half-Life 2 games. To activate this new UI, you need to enable the beta version of the game, and then you need to add the -gamepad UI flag to the launch command. Now, this new UI is obviously meant to make Half-Life 2 and its episodes compatible with the Steam Deck. And it's truly cool to see that Valve is supporting their old games on the Steam Deck. Valve's games are basically like Nintendo's Mario and Zelda for us. Half-Life, Portal, Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress, Counter-Strike, these games are the Steam Deck's Mario and Zelda. So until we actually get like a platformer from Valve, which I would be super cool with, we're going to call like Team Fortress and games like that part of the first party franchises that the Steam Deck should support. So it's really cool to see those games getting support here. It's just awesome to see other titles getting deck support as well. Every time a new title becomes playable or verified for the Steam Deck, that's one more small step forward towards dethroning Windows as the dominant PC gaming platform. Once there are enough Steam Decks out there to cause popular multiplayer titles to support the platform, it's really only a matter of time before the average person considers Linux a viable gaming platform. So while you and I might know that it already is a gaming platform and that we're really only waiting for the critical mass of game developers to support the platform, it's important to remember that this is the plan. Valve's plan is to launch the Steam Deck, a bespoke piece of gaming hardware, a console, if you will, that will have enough mass appeal to force game developers to support Linux, at the very least through Proton. And once Linux has enough of a foothold, I suspect Valve will launch other hardware running SteamOS as well. We've already seen some speculation about a console and a standalone VR headset from Valve, and I would love to see more from Valve as well. But anyway, now I'm just blabbering. Would you like to see a video about what I think Valve's real intentions with the Steam Deck are? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to give a special shout out to my friends on Patreon and my YouTube members, without whom I would not be able to do this. If it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be here, so thank you very much. I really appreciate it. If you believe in the work that I do and you want to help this show grow, consider pledging your support with the links below. And thank you. I think that's going to do it for this video though. Thank you so much for watching. You can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with all the cool things that we're doing here on the channel. And with all that said, I hope you guys have a blessed day.